Hey everyone, it's Kathy and you're back here on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today, and you can see what we're going to do today. We're going to be working with a bundle out of our mini catalog, what I like to refer to as our Christmas catalog, holiday catalog, but instead of calling it that, Stampin' Up! Has decided to call all of our smaller catalogs that come out twice a year our mini catalog. So what we're going to do today, we are going to look at lights. What's this? It's Christmas lights. Let me see if there it is, Christmas light bundle. And these are the dies, the coordinating dies, and this is the stamp set. It is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous set. This is actually featured over on, it doesn't give me the pay, oh, 32 it does. 32. And here we can see some of the beautiful things that has been made with it. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different today, but nevertheless it's going to be as gorgeous, or at least I'm hoping that it will be, as what we have going on here. I absolutely love this set. It's kind of unassuming in the catalog. It just doesn't really pop because it's just a tree and a snowflake and a little tree and some other little snowflakes and some streamers. So it doesn't really say wow. But the dies give you a wow factor. Now I don't have them all in here because I have them already ready to die cut. But this is a card that I made, and we're going to do something very similar to this. Isn't this gorgeous? Look at that shimmer. Look at that shine. And I made it into an easel card. How pretty is that? Trying to get it all into the camera frame so you can see it. And then this folds down nice and flat, so you have a very thin A2 size card that would be great for mailing. If you like to mail your cards to friends and family, this would be the perfect one to be able to go in the mail without a lot of dimension. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move my catalog out of the way, and I'm going to show you some of the products that I'm working with. One of them, along with the stamps and dies, actually I think I'm going to be working more with just the dies than the stamp set. But the paper that goes with this is called Lights Aglow. This is absolutely a beautiful pack of designer series paper. See all the gold that's in this paper? You got some beautiful greens and cream colors and soft succulent evening evergreen, and even a little bit of red. So, and I love that bouquet. I know some people pronounce that as bokeh, but the correct pronunciation is bouquet. And you have several pieces that have that bouquet on the back. It is just, like I said, a stunning pack of paper. So we're gonna work with this today and see what we can come up with, and hopefully make something absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to do something very similar to what we did there in the card that I showed you, but I think I'm going to change the background, maybe use something in a red with a little bit more gold in it. I'm actually thinking about this piece right here. I think that is just beautiful, and it would be pretty either this way or this way, but I think I'm going to go in this direction. So I'm going to give y'all all the measurements, but you do not have to worry about writing any of this down because it's all going to be in my blog, and I'll put a link for my blog below the video, and all you have to do is go and click there, and then go, when you get to my blog, go to where you see the picture of this card and it'll say show more. Click that and it will bring up, and it will show you all the different pictures. It will show you, you'll have a click link where it says click here for the PDF tutorial. Just click that link and it will take you to the PDF. You can print that out. It'll have pictures. It will have all of the dimensions and a list of all the products that I use to make this card. So very informative little PDF that I will share with y'all. We're going to start out with the card base, and this is the thick, very vanilla. I'm sorry, I'm so used to saying basic white that I just about said that. But this is a typical A2 size card base. I cut it on the 8.5 inch side. I cut it in half, at 4 1/4, and then I turned it and scored it at 5 1/2, and it gives us a card that folds like this. We're going to do another score line on this one in just a minute. I'm also using this beautiful, this is almost like a hunter green. It is called Evening Evergreen, and it works so well with the paper. Let me introduce you to another pack of paper. This is our glimmer paper, and I want to show you these beautiful colors. You get 2 sheets of each one, and you get this beautiful, this is almost like a very vanilla, and it's got the sparkles in it. I don't know if you're seeing how beautiful that is. The camera doesn't do the paper justice. And then of course this is the Evening Evergreen, and that's what I cut my tree out of. Now that one shows up a little bit more. And then we have the gold, and it is spectacular. So those are our glimmer papers, and that is for the holidays. This pack is a must. It is just so pretty. I also pulled in our gold foils, and if you notice on this card, I have just a slight border going around. When I do that, I like to save my gold foil, so I use my contour scallop dies and cut this piece out of the middle. That leaves me with this, which will easily go around here, and then we'll cover it up with our designer series paper, so no one will see the little scallop that was cut out. You'll only see the edge. That's called a paper saver, y'all. And I want to give you a little tip. If you don't like running your cardstock through your embossing machine, your cut and emboss machine, because it can have a tendency to pick up the cut marks from your plates. Our plates are like this, and they get worn, and we can't afford to put a new plate in every time we cut something. So what I do is I put my piece down onto my cut plate like so, and that would have been over top of it like that. Then I put my die down on top, and then I just lay a piece of copy paper. I take a lightweight piece of copy paper, fold it in half, lay it on top, and you will get a clean foil cut every time. So that's the way you can do that and not mar the outside edges of your cut piece. So I thought that was worth sharing with everyone. And some of you probably already know that, but the ones that don't, hopefully that'll be a really good little trick of the trade, so to speak, and something that you can use to help save your foil. You know, I hoard my paper, and I love using it because it is so pretty, but I also don't want to abuse the use of it. I like to save my foil and take full advantage of it. I'm going to set everything back over out of my way, and we are going to take this piece and this piece, and I think we're going to cut these down first. So the first mat that I want on here is my Evening Evergreen. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a mat that is going to measure 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to put this in at 4 on my 11-inch side. Line it up and slice. Then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to put it to 5 1/4 and give it a trim. Now we have this layer is done, ready to go. So the next layer would be this red. Let's see, no, our next layer will be this piece. And so we're going to, well, this will glue down in just a minute, but you can see we need to make sure that we have our piece that's going to go over top of this to be able to cover those scallops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. This piece was cut at 3 3/4 by 5. So this piece is going to go down 1/2 inch. So it's going to be 3 1/2. And I'm going to lay this on it to make sure. Yep, and that's going to cover it. So 3 1/2. by 4 3/4, going back 1/4 of an inch each time. That's how we get our layers to always fit perfectly. So we got that done. So now we can go ahead and start building our layers, and then we'll work with our card, because the last thing we'll do is put the card together. So what I want to do first is I want to glue this piece to our evening evergreen. Sorry about my throat, but my voice sounds very raspy today. It's rainy and just kind of yucky, so just excuse my voice and just bear with me. I'm going to put glue around the edge of this piece. I'm trying to be careful not to get glue on the shiny side, because foil and glue do not pair well together. They don't like each other. So I'm going to put that down about like that. Give it a good press. And then we're going to decide if we want that going up this way. And see what I mean? No one will ever know that you didn't have foil all the way under that. And I've got this beautiful piece here that I can use on a different card that I saved. So that's the advantage. And you could cut that out as a rectangle or whatever you like. I just use the scallop because I think they're pretty. All right, so what I want to do here, I think I'm going to use our Stampin' Seal for this, because I don't want glue to ooze out on my gold. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to put a little bit around something like that. And again, I think I want it to go like that. I don't know. I kind of like it like that too. So we're going to go like this. So what I'm doing is I'm looking top and bottom, side to side. And once I feel like I got that where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and press that down. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to lay the card base and this piece over, and I'm going to bring in some pieces that we're going to die cut. In our dies we have this little scallop that cuts out little dots, but it's arched, and I'm going to use that gold glimmer paper, or glitter paper as I would like to call it, because it's glitter, but look, the glitter does not come off. You can rub and rub, but the glitter does not get all over everything. So another one of those great features with our Stampin' Up products. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down, something like this. Like that. And then that is going to go here. And this will go here. And see, it's hard to get anything to glue to that glitter paper, so I just kind of stuck that down to hold it in place. I've also put my tree. The tree comes with a tree and a outline, and I'm using both. I'm using both the tree and the outline. And I'm going to put this down here to the bottom and try to stick it down as best I can. I'm going to lay both of these over here, and we're going to bring up our stamp and cut and emboss machine. And I'm going to zoom y'all out a little bit for this. Right about there. And let's go ahead and move these over so I can open up our big boy. I'm going to grab my plates, and I have a number 1 plate, the number 2 adapter plate, and 2 number 3 plates. So I'm going to lay my my little piece here, right about there on the edge, and then I'm hoping I'll get room here. And this is the sticky note flags are not sticking to this at all, but that's okay. I think we'll be fine just like that. Now I'm going to take my cover plate and put over it. And then I'm going to press it to the center of my machine like that and go ahead and crank it through. This machine cuts like a dream. It's easy to crank and it cuts almost perfect every time, even glimmer paper. But I want to tell you a trick. If you run glimmer paper through and it doesn't, do not disturb your layers, but take off both plates like that, these two, turn it upside down and run it back through, and you will get a perfect cut every time. Now, I have not had trouble with these not cutting, but that, nope, see, that cut out beautifully. And this piece doesn't cut out, but it does cut. I'll show you what we're going to do with that. So sorry about my throat, y'all. I do apologize for the raspiness in my voice. But there is our die cuts, and I'm going to brush my plate off because I got little pieces that cut out from that tree. But we're going to fill those in. Did you notice the little dots that I put on this one? See the little pearls for the garland and my little red dots? We're going to do the same thing with this one. All right, let's go ahead and get our plates out of our way and close up this. I'm going to go ahead and stick these back up here because I can reuse those definitely. And I'm going to move those dies out of our way for right now because we don't need those. What I am going to do is I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to use the pick part of it, and I'm going to look at the back, and on the back you can pretty much see the holes that need to be popped out. Not all of them do, but the ones that do, you want to pop them out, because these are the ones that you're going to want to put your little enamel dots in. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. We have the white, the Pearlized Enamel Effects Basic White. These are gorgeous. They're pearlescent. And we also have, it comes in a trio of red, white, and black. And I think they had the black ones in there for the Halloween type stuff. And I don't usually do Halloween, so those are kind of over there. But these pearlized enamel in real red are gorgeous. So take your time and go ahead and punch out all of your little ditties out of here. Now that looks like we got them all out. So we're just going to rake up our little pieces and put those in the trash. And now we're ready to go ahead and bring our pieces back over. I do want to cut, we're going to go ahead and cut this. I'm trying to decide if I want it to go. I do need to poke my pieces out of this too. Some of my little holes are still full, so just make sure they're all poked out. That looks really good. And I think this time I'm going to put this down this way instead of up that way. So what we need to do is take our paper snips, and to cut this you just want to go right above. I think I can see better from on this side, so I'm just going to cut right above the dots and just follow your lines all the way across like that. And see, that's going to be so pretty on there, and our tree can sit on that. So what you want to do when you get it where you want it on your card, you want to decide where you want to cut it as far as a straight mark. So I'm going to move that so I can lay this flat, and I want this to lay down right against the gold. And I'm going to bring that over because I want it to look uniformed and even. I want the highest point to be in the middle, and that looks to be our highest point right there. That looks pretty close. I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to make a mark there and here. That's going to let me know that I need to snip here and here and just cut it down straight, just like that. And then this is ready to go. Maybe I do want to put it that way. Yeah, I think I like it better like that. I could cut this a little bit straighter. All right, we're going to glue that down right there. So I'm going to just put some glue at the back of this. Doesn't have to be a whole lot, just enough to adhere it. Okay, so now got little dots everywhere. So now we can put our tree down right about there and see how pretty that looks. Now on the back of this, you can use glue to put this down if you want. You could also die cut this with the, let me bring y'all in a little closer. You could also die cut this with the sticky back paper that we have, the adhesive, and then peel that off and it would be like a sticker and you could stick it right down. You could pop it up with dimensionals, but I'm not, because I want to fill in these little holes, so I need it to be laying flat. And in order to do that, I'm just going to put glue, and I'm going to try my best to come in and go around the edges like so. You really want to make sure your edges get stuck good. And then I'm going to come in here anywhere that I don't have those big holes, and I'm just going to put some glue around all over the place, and that looks plenty good. And I'm going to bring my tree down about to there, making sure I'm getting it nice and centered, just like that. All right, I'm going to go ahead now and use my dots. The reason I'm going to do that now, they need to dry. We may have to use our heat tool and see if we can dry them a little bit faster. I should have done one of these before I came on camera and let it be drying, and then I could just swap them out. But I didn't think ahead. One of my pitfalls. So I'm going to go in first and do all of my ornaments. And I think I'm going to start up here at the top. And I'm just going to go right where the hole's at and do a dot and a dot. I'm going to leave the streamers alone, because I'm going to come back and do that in white. Something like that. And then we're going to put the top back on that one, and we're going to come back now and we're going to do our garland. Now our garland looks very, very pretty. You could even do a string. Let's try this one and string it. If we don't like it, well, we're hoping we will. Just using that little guideline to guide you. That gives it a little bit different look, but you know what? They're both pretty in their own way, so that gives us a little bit of difference from the other one. I think it's really cute. Now we need a star for the top of our tree. So we have this die right here that cuts out a beautiful star, and I'm going to do it out of the glimmer paper. And I think I have enough right here to die cut that star. Yeah, I think I do. I'm going to lay this over here. We're probably going to get the heat tool out and see if we can dry that a little faster than what would be our normal dry time. But I am going to lay this on that glimmer paper. Let's see if we can stick it down so it doesn't move. And so y'all aren't seeing this. I'm going to turn this around. And I'm actually going to just glue this down like that. And I think that may work. Let's hope that it does. If it don't, we'll just get a bigger piece of paper and cut it. Oh, it did work perfectly. There's our little star. I think we can probably get rid of that piece of gold. We've gotten our money's worth out of it. And let's go ahead and close this back up. And we need to bring our trimmer in because we need to score this card on your front piece, and it doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter front or back. You want to score this at 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 would be right there. Make sure you're using your lighter blade. Give it a good score and go ahead and fold it. Grab your bone folder and give it a good crease like that. This is thick cardstock, so it is sometimes a little unyielding, but that's okay. Now this is going to be the part for our easel. We're going to go ahead, while this is drying, I'm going to go ahead and work on what's going to hold our easel up, because what's going to happen, this part of the card is going to glue to this. And it's going to lay flat like that, but when you pop it up, we're going to have something here that's going to stop it, and just like we did here. See what I did there? So we're going to have the same type of thing on this one that's going to stop it, and that's how we make our easel card. So simple, so easy, and yet it does do a it's a wow factor. Let's bring our tree back over because I want to go ahead and put our star right here on our tree. And to do that, I think I'm just going to use a little bit of my liquid glue. And I'm going to pop that on just like that. Oh, and I did get my finger in one of the dots. It's okay as long as I didn't smear it. I think I'm okay. I can come back. I see which one I did because it just knocked the top off of it. So we're going to come back and just rebuild that one. And that's probably why you want to let that dry. Let's go ahead and grab our heat tool. I'm going to go off camera and dry this with the #1 setting and see when we come back if we can go ahead and put the card together. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I did try blow drying it. It doesn't seem like that these dots want to blow dry. This may be something that you may have to just sit and let it dry on its own, but it is going to be gorgeous once it is dry. So we're going to go ahead and work on the rest of our card. A piece of the paper that was left over that I cut off for the mat on the front, I turned it over and you have this pattern. So I cut a strip that is 4 1/4 by 3/4 inch. We're going to glue that down right across the bottom of our card about here. And on top of that, I have a piece of the Evening Evergreen, and I grabbed the banner from Stylish Shapes. This is our Stylish Shapes dies. We have stitched circles, stitched squares, and stitched banners in 4 different sizes. So this is the largest one, and I'm going to grab my plates once again, and we're going to go ahead and die cut this. And I think what I want to do is I want to heat emboss this with gold. And we're just going to do a simple but never simple Merry Christmas. There's nothing simple about saying Merry Christmas to someone. So there's our banner. Such a pretty set. And here's our Merry Christmas. Now this came from a different stamp set, because if you notice, this set has no sentiments. It's just our shapes. So Hope and Peace is another stamp set in our mini catalog that has all of our beautiful Christmas sentiments. God's blessing to you, wishing you the hope and peace of Christ this season. Emmanuel, God with us. The weary world rejoices. May knowing Christ bring you peace for today, hope for tomorrow, and joy in every season. Peace on earth, goodwill toward all, to all, with love and hope. Merry Christmas, tidings of comfort and joy. So that's where I got the Merry Christmas from. And we're gonna stamp this in our Versamark. And I'm thinking I might want to take this to the Stamparatus, but let's see if we want that or not. I think I am, just for the simple reason I can restamp it, and that's the wonderful thing about a positioning tool. You can stamp it multiple times and always get it in the same spot. So I'm going to put that down right about there. And I'm just going to put a magnet here. I'm going to center that in there exactly where I want it. It looks really good. Pick it up. Now we can ink this multiple times. Oh, let me do my little powder tool. I always forget about this. And it's always one of those things when I forget about it. I regret it, because I'll end up with embossing powder where I didn't want it. So we're going to powder that up pretty good. And now we're going to go ahead and ink up our Merry Christmas. Stamp it down. Oh, that's pretty. Let's do it one more time. Very good. Now I can pull this off. I'm going to be very careful not to touch it with my fingers while I pull out my little tweezers. These come in with a pack now. You get the embossing buddy, you get the tweezers, a brush, and a little tray that you can use to put your embossing powder back in. I'm not using that because I have my embossing powder in these little food containers. This works out really well for me, and I can just hold my piece over. But it works out great if you're using the little jars to have something to be able to put your powder back in with. So I'm going to do that one more time and dump it. And you really want to tap it to make sure you get any excess. And if you look at your piece and you think you've got embossing powder where you didn't want it, just take your little brush and brush it. Just like that. And now we're going to go ahead and heat set this. So this time we're going to put this on number 2. We have 2 speeds on our heat tool, 1 and 2, 1 being low, 2 being your highest setting. So we're just going to heat set Merry Christmas. It's starting to change. Look at that. So pretty. I say this every time I heat emboss. I never get tired of watching that transformation. Looks like we got a little bit right there, but you know what? We're going to go with it. Homemade cards are that. They're homemade, handmade. So let's go ahead and bring back over our card. I tell you what, let's do this one. Well, that would not have been good. Let's bring this over, and I want to lay this out and see exactly how I want it to lay. I think like that and like that, and then this will bump against that. I think that's perfect. So I'm going to lay my card onto my grid so I can kind of get an idea of where I want this piece to fall, and I want it to come up about 1/2 inch, so I know right there be perfect. And then I'm going to put glue on the back of it. And I'm going to use that line to make sure that I'm getting my paper nice and straight. And then press it down. And then for this one, I want to put dimensionals on it because this needs to pop up to give us that stopper that we need. Some people ask me, why do I use my Take Your Pick tool to take off my backers? I like to do it because it puts them all in one place, and I can put them in my trash can, just like that. So now I'm going to take this and sit it right about here. And then on this piece, I'm going to put glue. Just like that, and we're going to bring this piece over and hope we can do this without making a mess. So I want to put this down, but I want a border. If you notice the way I put my glue on, I made sure that I left myself that little border all the way around, and then this is going to sit against that just like that. And there is our card. Isn't that pretty? Now I'm going to lay this flat for now because I want this to dry, but this is going to be our easel card. When somebody gets it, you could put a little note inside and tell them to bend it and sit it so that it stands up, and that way they would know that that's how they would handle an easel card. I love the way this turned out. You could also put a little gem in the middle of your star if you wanted to. I'm not sure if it would need it, but you know what? Why not? We can try it. You know what would be really pretty is one of our little, a little pearl, a little white pearl right in the middle. Might just be what that needs to set that off. So let's grab one. And let's set that down right about there. So pretty. I love that. That really does set it off and makes it absolutely beautiful. So that is our card for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we are starting now. I figure it's, heading into the middle of September. It's a good time for us to get busy with our Christmas cards. Let me zoom y'all in so you can see this a little better. Isn't that gorgeous? And then, like I said, when this is completely dry, we can set it up and it will look like that. Such a pretty statement. A simple but yet elegant card for anyone. And I'm going to lay both of them side by side so you can see that we did one a little bit different, but not a lot different. This one I used the very vanilla for the piece down here. This one I used the gold glimmer paper. I did the same outline border. I changed the designer series paper, and I changed my sentiment. Let's see if we can bend this one up. And I changed it here. So 2 cards made alike, but yet a little bit different. This one leans a little bit better than this one because I used a larger piece here. But both of them are absolutely gorgeous, and I think anyone would love to receive either one of these cards for their Christmas card. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in, joining me today for these cards. They were so much, let me get y'all zoomed out just a little bit. They were so much fun to make, and I hope that you would try these. Now, if you saw any of the products that I use and you would like to purchase them, you will see a link that says click here to shop, and you can go to my Stampin Up website and you can purchase any and all of these products. These will all be listed with the order number in my blog post on the PDF tutorial. Thanks so much for tuning in once again. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy. Until we craft again, bye-bye.